Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's VIN-dow with Robert Hollinshead. And good January, late third week in January to you, Bob.
How are you, sir, and everybody?
Not too bad. Yeah,
good.
I don't know what. Yeah, we had a short week this week. I guess you guys did. But there was a bit of a market rebound. You want to chat about that quickly for everybody?
Absolutely. I'm going to try not to run my mouth where everybody's vomiting, but like trying to end it sooner than later. But what we have seen, as the decline kept on going and going and going through, and then all of the, let's call it, the rotten wood keeps popping back up and so forth. At the end, last couple of weeks of the year, it looked like it was showing a nice little turnaround. And the first few weeks of this year have, in my estimation, have shown an unbelievable flip-flop in the market. Now, what we've also seen is a lot of dealers, over that beating that we took over to, November, December thing where things are dropping, you can't get out of cars are upside down, the time and days in market are 6 times what they're supposed to be and all the rest of it. You don't know what you're going to do. You can't take the loss. Right, it's created, I would call, like a flinch effect, right? Where, in other words, they're a little punch drunk, and simultaneous to that, dealers that are actually aggressive, that are, they're out there like pushing the market the other direction. So there's no possibility that it's bottomed out. No shot. It's almost like a dead man's bounce situation, but it absolutely 100% is going the opposite direction. It's going up, right? Just about across the board. Trucks, unbelievable. A new body style GM, unbelievable. Toyota product is back to bringing, in many, many cases, very close to MSRP 3 years ago. Unbelievable as it seems, it's happening, right? A lot of these cars that were really getting hard to sell, the late model Mercedes, BMW, Audis, have I'm not saying they're skyrocketed the other direction, but they definitely took the dead man's bounce, and they're back where they're getting sold like a hot knife and butter once again. So the reversal in the depreciation curve, it's young. It's only a couple weeks in, 3 weeks in, but it's definitely there. You can't deny it. Now, the question becomes, and I believe this to be true, to what we call the best end user theory, there's a huge number, I'm going to say 80, maybe more % of dealers that are not ready to start paying goofball money for cars again. In other words, they got new car inventory. They're getting ready to give those cars away as normal, back to 2018, 16, 2001, 1979. In other words, getting back to doing normal business where you're trying your best to give everything away and make it up someplace else in the sales process. Like I said the last time, I believe, in other words, every single channel all day long is a car ad saying, come in, we'll do something special for you, but we got plenty of cars to sell. This is why this rebound it's a little bit surprising to me, because there's plenty of people that are digging in fairly deep, and there's been a significant rebound in the used car market, wholesale used car market. And I'm talking to a lot of dealers that don't see the let's call it the traffic that would support why they've why prices are going the other direction. As when I say dramatic, there's a number of different little touch points that we look at through the many decades to give us an indication that the market's changing. One of them is the arbitration rate. In other words, when the arbitration rate goes up, even on good cars, right, you have what we call buyer's remorse. After they bought it, they start peeing in their underwear and looking for a reason to get out, right, of a purchase or many purchases. So as the arb rate goes down, that's an indication that, in other words, there actually is like sincere need to buy cars, right? They're not trying to get out of them after they bought them. The other thing is the number of bids per car, right? Where it's not like one or two people that bump their head. We have active bidding throughout the sale process from 3, 4, sometimes 7 and 8 different buyers, right? And then when we look at the class of cars, it's not an anomaly that it was only a white one with 30-inch wheels and 12 sunroofs and 62 navigation systems. It's kind of a little deeper than that. It happens not just only on the greatest car on earth. One of the indicators that has not disappeared yet, where there's still a little tiny bit of caution, even though we're out there buying and paying and all the rest of it, is the touch on facts. The touch on facts, Carfax, on a unit, it's definitely a like a snuff job on that particular car. We don't have people just, I don't care about facts, I'll just buy it, I just need the car. That ain't happening. In other words, you're still seeing significant, I would say, I'm not saying you can't sell a car with facts, I'm just saying you're not getting a moonshot for them. You don't have the same type of desirability. And that's the reason why I'm saying the market is definitely rebounded. No question about it. Just about across the board, actually, including junk, all the way through to, $400,000 cars. There's activity there that is really encouraging, right? But if you got a little touch on facts, they just ain't looking to pay the same kind of money, right? That's what we're seeing, and it's not just in one section of the country. It looks to me to be just about across the board. And then the last little piece of it is where the auctions were a no sale factory for a number of months, selling 20, 30, 40% of $50,000, $80,000 cars. All of a sudden, those cars are back to getting sold, like into the 70s and 80s, and in some cases into the 90s and 100s, depending on who the seller is, right? So that's another indicator to me that's very indicative of, how thick and how what we call deep the market is. It is not just a little bit of a fluke. It seems like it's, and of course we're hoping it stays that way as sellers. I hope it remains this way for a nice little period of time. It's very difficult to predict that, but we'll see how that goes. That's what it is as of 10 a.m. on this Thursday morning.
Perfect. I think that's a good summary, and appreciate it, Bob. Thank you.
My pleasure, Shoni. Have fun, everybody.